All right, everybody, welcome to One Nation, a Sports Soccer Magazine Extra. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Memorial Day. This is a special day for more reasons than just one. Had a little bit of a surprise, and you'll get to see that surprise here in just a moment. But first off, I just want to say happy anniversary to my lovely wife, Angela. Today we are celebrating our 35th anniversary. She's my best friend, my love of my life, and we have a great time together. And she does so many things behind the scenes, and you're just going to get to know her a little bit tonight as we have her on as a special guest with this Memorial Day special. Speaking of special guests, I'm going to go ahead and bring Mr. Jay Gill on, and he's got somebody with him. Hey, how are you guys?
Hey, we're doing good. How's everything going, Dad? Happy anniversary.
Well, thank you. Thank you. It's especially nice you bringing on my lovely daughter with you tonight.
Well, I figured tonight if we have Mom on, we should just make it a whole family affair, you know? Come on, let's
Yeah,
all talk.
we could have the kids and we could just have everybody come on. We're gonna probably hear
No,
the snoring dog
no,
Pippa here in just a minute, but
no kids.
all right, Jay, I'm gonna kind of let you go through what you do, and then we'll get right into the program.
No, that sounds good. And you know, Dad, honestly, I feel like you should do a little bit more talking about Mom. I mean, as you said, 35 years. I know you have a lot to get off your chest. Let's just do it on Facebook, you know? No, anyways, but I'll let you do that later in the show. I'm sure you've got more to talk about. Our guest tonight is known to many as Angela DeMars. I actually have the privilege of knowing her as Mom. She welcomed me into her home almost over 16 years ago. Little did she know I was going to stick around. Uh, when I first met Angela, she was a wedding planner or a organizer. I don't know what wedding coordinator. I don't know, Mom. Sorry if I'm butchering it. But my goodness, she was great at that. I'm talking about organizing and planning. My wife here, Kate, can testify. That woman knows how to make a plan, execute it, and just does it flawlessly. When things come up and it's like, oh no, the whole world's burning. If you've ever been to a wedding, you know how hectic they can be. She's just this calm piece there, and she's like, no big deal, we got this. And she can just make things keep rocking. So she does that more than just weddings. She helps organizes so much events throughout Jeff City. I mean, the woman, she's good. um, she's also a fierce lover of her family, and she's a faithful warrior for God. She's always giving to others and making sure that everyone else is fine before she worries about herself. If you're smart enough, you might even sit down and just listen to what Angela has to say. She's a pretty smart cookie. So when I came in like a wrecking ball all those years ago, she had to make a new plan, one that included me. You know what? I'm very grateful to her for that. She's loved me through all of my flaws, and she treats me like the son that she never had. So thank you, Mom. We're very excited to get you on the show and hang out. So come on, bring on Mama.
Oh, that was very sweet, Jay. Thank you. You made me sound really good, but it's not all true. Your
Thank
check's in
you.
the mail,
I
son. Your check's in the mail.
Yeah, it is. Well, what?
Kate went on many adventures, many wedding adventures, didn't you, Kate?
I did, and he
Yep.
handled them very, very well.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Oh my goodness, we have lots of stories we could tell.
Hey,
Fun
speaking
times.
speaking of lots of stories we can tell, we've got a couple people joining us. Patty Barnhart McFeeder, she's on here. My sister and your sister-in-law, Jackie DeMars. She says, "Love you guys. Happy anniversary." And then our friend Kelly
Oh,
Schultz and her husband
oh, how
Steve.
cool is
So
that?
they
That
actually,
is
Steve and
awesome.
Kelly helped marry us 35 years ago. So
Yes, they are a blast from our past.
yeah, they're pretty
Oh,
awesome.
that's
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah.
they're awesome.
Hey, Hun, it's very, very much an honor having you on here. You're so much a part of everything that I do, and you're so much a part of everything with our family. And I know you have a tremendous heart and love for people. And I thought, what better way than today, as we're honoring our veterans, as we're honoring different people who have served our country, to have you just come on and just share your heart and your thoughts concerning some of these things. And we're just going to honor everybody that we possibly can tonight. And I just saw somebody else came on here, Elijah Mayfield. Hi, everyone. Miss you all. Happy anniversary. So, hey,
Oh,
Elijah. Good to have you on, buddy.
he's
Hi, Elijah.
awesome.
All right. Jay, why don't you go ahead and kick it off with our first question?
All right, sounds good. So, Mom, today is a special day for a lot of people. Memorial Day is a national holiday where we remember those who served in our armed forces. What would you want to say to those families who lost someone in the line of duty, and how we can honor their memory?
Hmm. Thank you just doesn't cut it, does it? It just doesn't. I think in the
Mm.
last year and a half, all the things that have been happening in our nation, I have gotten a greater sense of love for my country, that patriot spirit in me, that love of my nation, and for people who have made that ultimate sacrifice, allowing their family members to serve our nation, to fight for our freedom. Um, I would just say personally that I don't take that lightly. And in this day and age, more than ever, I'm committed to um, guarding that freedom so that their sacrifice wasn't in vain.
And you had a couple of your grandparents served in the military. You want to
I did.
talk about both of your grandpas real quick?
I don't know much about my grandfather McGuire and what he did in the military, but I know Grandpa Ballinger was a part of a German war camp up in Colorado, and he was excellent with the German soldiers there. We have a hand carved box that some of the soldiers from Germany that were in state, in that camp, being detained, had made for him. Um, and we have pictures of my dad when he was just a little boy at that camp. And so my uncle Shorty, who's passed away, also served as well in the Marines, I believe. And we have some of our student athletes that have served. One in particular I think of is Victor Pruitt, just a really neat guy. You all know Victor. And he was in our youth group when we had our youth group for 15 years at First Assembly. And he was one of the students that went through. And I remember the very night that we called him, it was really late at night, and he was going to be deployed, his first deployment. And he's just a kid. And he was going into this hostile situation. And we called and we just wanted to pray with him. And we said, "Hey, buddy, what you doing?" He's waiting to leave to go to this hostile place. And he's just a kid. And he said, "I'm just sitting here playing with my Legos." And we just laughed. You know, we just laughed
But
because he was just,
what
yeah.
an amazing thing! Just finding a way of comfort and relaxation, which I know
Mm-hmm.
so many people had to do when they were getting ready to step foot. We also had some other students that were in our youth group. Dusty Latham, we had him. He's in the
Yes.
National Guard, and great young man as well. He was involved in several things when we had the youth group, like taping me up to the pole and different things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So the what was it, the ice bucket challenge? I think he's the one that got the dumping on my head, and
Yeah.
that's pretty cold when there's nothing up there to block that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I admire families who are willing to support husbands and wives and kids to go and do what they're doing. Some of them have just made a tremendous sacrifice, and so we appreciate that.
Elijah asked how we met. We'll get to that here at the end, Elijah, if we have time. But for right now, we're going to keep moving ahead,
we'll
buddy.
have time. We'll have time.
It's kind of a
Yeah.
boring story.
No,
It's
to
really
some
not.
maybe.
It's full of danger, love, romance. I mean, Elijah, buckle up, buddy.
Intrigue.
Rodents of unusual size. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, Angela, we just decided when we started the magazine to honor student athletes, coaches that were going into the military or who had served. And we only have one themed issue that we do every year, and that's our July-August issue, which is a patriotic issue. Can you just kind of talk a little bit about that and tell us a little bit about why that's so special?
I love that issue. One, because I love a theme, as all of you know. If I'm planning anything special, I always want to know what the theme is so I can stick with the theme. So it is one of my very favorites. I love seeing our flag just peppered through the entire publication, the July-August edition. I love hearing the stories of the students, why they chose to go into the military, some of the coaches and what they've done in the military. It's just it's a special issue. I think we always sell out of that issue. So look for it in July, coming out around the 15th or so, and grab a copy or check it out online on the digital magazine as well.
Yeah, we're working on that issue right now, and we have several of those student athletes that are getting ready to go into service. Some of them are probably already on their way to their basic training, so they might not get to see it until later on or possibly digitally, but make sure you catch that. Jay, I want to speak real quick to you. You have a couple of grandpas that have served in the military. Why don't you go ahead and talk about both of your grandpas, if you would?
Yeah, so that would be my grandpa, Jerry. That's my mom's dad, Jerry Six. And then my other grandpa is my grandpa Marlo Van Sickle. And yeah, I mean, I've actually had the privilege of being able to spend several hours sitting with both of them and just talking about their service, what they did. It is so much fun to sit there and just listen to them reminisce, talk about the times. Um, my grandpa Marlo has just photos and tons of photos and pretty cool memor um, memorabilia from that time. And you can see these photos, and I mean, I know he worked on like helicopters. I know he had done some time in college, like going to for like a tech school for like auto body repair, stuff like that. So all of a sudden he goes and he's working on helicopters. Who would have thought that would have transitioned to that? And so he would, yeah, he has cool photos of like all these helicopters around, these Black Hawks, and you're just like, dude, that's so cool. And so yeah, I mean, and then sitting with my grandpa Jerry, he actually spent a lot of his time on a ship. And he was with the Marines too, and so it's just really cool to hear his stories. And I just I think it's really special, the people who are serving in the military. Um, One thing that's really cool, um, I just read that statistic again today. Um, I said really cool. It's kind of shocking, I think. I think a lot of us think about all the people we know that are in the military, and we think, oh yeah, I mean, it's just a very common thing. A lot of people are signed up and are veterans and are serving our country, and that's just not the case. Currently the statistic is 7% of our country. That's it. That's a whole lot of people not serving in the military. So whenever I hear things about how, we can't even take care of our veterans, and I'm like, it's 7% of the population. I don't know what the issue is. Take care of them, whatever they need, We
That's
talk
right.
about how we can't get the medical needs, and I'm like,
Mm,
it's not even that large part. In the last 20 years, it's gone from 18% to 7%. There is such
wow.
a drop off, and we're struggling to even take care of our 7%. I put that
Mm,
as a reality check for people because I want people to understand it's just such a minute amount of the population, but they literally make up our freedom and the reason that we
mm-hmm,
have the freedom we do today. So I
mm-hmm.
that's why I'm pretty passionate about our veterans, my grandpas, and I want to make sure that we take care of them. They absolutely deserve it.
Right,
Yes, that's
absolutely.
really a good point. Because if we want a strong military, and I know this isn't a political this isn't a political show, but if you want a strong military, Jay, you are correct. We've got to take excellent care in the United States. We should be known for the care that we give and the honor that we give our military people who serve
Absolutely.
us. Um, I would honestly, at age 55, I wouldn't be thrilled to have to take up arms and do something um, and try to get some
No.
quick, quick military training, at my age. It's so important to take care of these young people going in, as well as the people who have served and are no longer serving. So,
Yep.
Well, we'll continue on a little bit more with that. Some really good stuff, and we definitely want to honor all of those who have served. And I mean, there's just not words that we can express for what you've done for us, and we thank you.
mhm.
Um, we'll go ahead and do our first commercial break, and we'll bring on Diesel Power Plus, and we'll hear what they have to say, and then we'll be right back.
Let every nation bow before him, bow before my Lord. Let every nation bow before him, bow before my Lord. Rulers and kingdoms will adore and bow before my Lord. And our salvation is secure.
All right, that just wakes you up, doesn't it, hun?
Woo.
That store is so amazing.
Yeah.
Really, if you've got somebody hard to buy for, you need to head out there because they have just some of the neatest things. So then you can stop and get ice cream and treat yourself, and so it's a super cool place to go. Really,
And
it is.
Jay's got one of their awesome hats on too that he always wears. It's looks good, man.
It
Thank you.
does.
Well, we appreciate Ashley and Delton and everything that they do in supporting this program. And speaking of this program, we're going to go ahead and continue on. We've been honoring our veterans and those that are in the military tonight on this special for Memorial Day. Katie, I wanted to just ask you real quick before we go on into asking Mom any other questions. I know you've, as far as being a part of the family with Jay and his grandparents, and just kind of seeing the pride, I know specifically with Grandpa Marlowe, just in his service. Can you talk a little bit about that, what you've seen?
He's just he's just very proud of what he did and what they were able to accomplish, as he should be. And to hear his stories, um, and how he handled situations and everything and what they went through, I don't know, it brings a whole new light to what our veterans go through, and our people that are still serving right now. And so you just have a greater appreciation for them. And we're so thankful that he is here with us today, and for his service, And I mean, he's had a lot of ups and downs to go through, even after the war, but he is, he's here and he's just absolutely awesome. So,
Yeah,
Mm.
very much so. I know definitely actively involved, and very proud of what he does. Um, you know, part of that is getting involved in the community, and I know that's one of the things that he does. One of the things that we've found to be very important as far as the magazine is getting involved in the community. And Angela, I just want to just direct this to you real quick. You've been a big part in developing community involvement programs or practices for Sports Soccer Magazine. What's the idea behind, and what's the importance of cheering the community on and off the field?
I think with the magazine, it was important for us to articulate to the community that, yes, it is a sports magazine. We're highlighting high school sports athletes. Um, but our heart was that was just the beginning, and that with the magazine, we wanted to reach out, whether you were an athlete and you were in sports, even if you weren't in high school anymore, um, you were important to us. And so we're cheering for our communities, not just Jefferson City, that's our community, but the communities that have come and joined us in the magazine. We're cheering for those communities too, and for the old and young alike, and the person who doesn't like sports, and as well as the person that loves them. We're still cheering for you.
Absolutely. And Katie, you've been involved obviously in the photo shoots and speaking specifically about the patriotic issue. What's been so I know you take a lot of pride in what you do, but you even want to take even more pride. I mean, that's just you when you are shooting somebody that's representing our country. Tell us a little bit about that.
Now it's just so special to meet all of these kids or, you know, past service members, and they're just, you just want to capture their story. You want to capture them in the moment. You hear their excitement and their passion for their country, and that is, it's, one of my favorite questions is, what is the flag? Like when you see the flag flying, what does it mean to you? And every single one of them has something different, but they're so passionate about it. And so you're just seeing this, and whether it's from family, that has served, they have a big military family background, and it's something they've known from day one that they want to do, or they're the first in their family. It's just really, really neat to be able to capture them in that moment before this transition, and just to hear how they're feeling about it and why they're excited to go, or why, they could be a little nervous. But it's just a really special time to get to highlight these kids that are getting ready to go and do great things for our country. So
Absolutely. Um, yeah, it is a privilege. I mean, I know you guys look at it the same way when we go out there and do those interviews and photo shoots, Katie and Jay. And I mean, it's an honor for us to be able to represent and tell their stories to everybody else, and just letting people know that, hey, you've got these people out there fighting for you. So yeah, again, it's a special thing. That's why we love that issue so much. Hey Jay, why don't you go ahead and ask these next two questions for Angela?
Well, Mom, I kind of want to know about these tree plantings that you do with every issue. How did that come about? What's going on there?
I love the tree plantings. They're just one of my favorites. We get to meet at places with Haley from Longfellows and All in One. And I don't know. It's just, don't you think, hun? Don't you think it's a lot of fun? I really
Yeah,
look forward to
absolutely.
it. We
Absolutely.
started doing that. It was an initiative that we started. I'd heard a little bit of something here and there, just talking about paper, and trees, and I started doing a little bit of investigating, because we have a lot of paper in our lives, right? Not just magazines and newspapers, but just a lot of things are paper, and found out that there's a lot of well managed forestry that goes on for the paper production. But I thought we could do our part. I thought it would be a really nice thing for us to give back. So we are being respectful with the resources that we've been given. And so for every issue of Sports Soccer that comes out, we plant a tree in our area. And it hasn't really been too hard to find places to
No.
plant after that tornado. Wow. It just took out so many trees. So we have actually been working with Habitat for Humanity because a lot of their new homes or new builds are in that line of the storm, that pathway that the storm took. So it took out homes and it took out trees. And Habitat is doing a great job rebuilding that storm laden path. And so we are attempting to plant a tree in those areas, and it's fun to meet the new homeowners. We've done a few memorial trees, and that's been rough sometimes, but I'm glad to do that for families as well. So it's just a great initiative. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, speaking of those memorial trees, Whitney Heinrichsen just asked a question. She loves the interview with Coach Love from Russellville in this current issue. That's the May-June issue. And, when we did that interview, he talked about the young man that we had featured before in Sports Locker who had passed away in a car accident. And then Coach Love was there on the day that we did the tree planting. And, man, that was a rough time talking to him during that interview. I mean, it was just emotional. And,
Oh yeah, I think we all cried.
I know I did.
Just sat there. Yeah, we all sat there crying. But man, I just loved listening to him talk and share his passion with the kids. And you picked up like he absolutely loves what he does for a living, and he loves pouring into those kids. And so you couldn't help but just get overwhelmed with the emotion of it all. And so I was like, this is the only interview we've ever done where we're all crying, but it was good. It was good. It was a good, healthy cry. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, Whitney said that was her classmate, and I remember her family was there for the tree planting as well. All right, this is a question from my sister. It says, Angie, have you ever done a red, white, and blue themed wedding for someone in the service?
Oh, not to my memory. I think I would have remembered that.
Yeah, I think so.
What a great idea, though. That's
And
awesome.
It is a great idea.
Yeah, it is.
And Katie probably would have helped
married.
you.
Let's do it.
Katie would have been right there with you. Melanie Morton Porter said, you guys are such an amazing family. Thanks for all you do. And Melanie, you guys have an amazing family yourself, and we were honored to be able to interview Tristan. And again, this is all about families and community. That's why we have the magazine. So with that, I'm going to stop talking and let Jay finish asking questions.
So Mom, we have a ton of sponsors who make this magazine possible. There's a special thing you do each issue, and you deliver a gift to our sponsors, and as a thank you, and you typically write a pretty encouraging note to them as well. What's the thought process behind that, and why was that so important for you to do?
Well, you were all there with the very first issue, and it was probably the hardest thing I think we've all ever done. None of us could have anticipated the difficulty of starting a magazine from scratch. And it was a huge collaboration of family and friends and these advertisers who just believed in what we were doing. And after the magazine, we got our boxes of the magazine in, I told Kirk, I just have this powerful gratitude to these people who said, we're going to spend some of our advertising dollars to support what you're doing. I said, we just have to say thank you, but we didn't have a dime to do it because it took everything for that first magazine to roll out. And so I knew I had just like no budget to work with, and I wanted to thank them so bad. So I called so many of my friends and asked them for their old sports shoes, like their old tennis shoes and golf shoes. I learned that Yes, I learned that wrestlers are possessive of their shoes, and so I could never get a wrestler to give me any of their shoes. And then I ran over to Longfellow's. I had some store credit there, and I used that credit to buy soil and pansies. And I lined up all those tennis shoes and baseball shoes and everything. out in the driveway, and I planted pansies in them, and then we wrote a little thank you card, and that was our very first gift. And it was just because we were just so grateful. We were so grateful. And many of those advertisers are still with us after 7 years. They are still in the magazine, which is amazing to me. But then the next issue, as you all know, we had to turn around and do it again. And that gratitude was still there, and they were still on board with us. And I thought, we got to do something again. So we had a little wee bit of money there, and I think we bought candy bars and put some happy little something on them. And so it's been 7 years, six times a year. Do the math. I've done a lot of gifts, and we run them to every single advertiser. Run them right into the store, and we've had some dorky gifts, some really dumb things actually, but
it was from the heart.
It's from the heart, and
it was good. It was good.
one was a patriotic one that was the worst, and I wanted him to make this little sign. I'd gotten this little kit that they were all supposed to make this sign and then put why they loved America and tag us, and absolutely nobody did it. Nobody even knew what to do with the little kid, and so that was the biggest.
So you decided to stick with feed them. That's probably the best thing.
Yes, I have, and we try to purchase things. Sometimes I make things. I always put everything together on my own, but a lot of times I'll make something, or I'll buy something from a local person. And so we really do try very hard to support local. And so some of the goodies have come from local people.
Yes, very much. And we appreciate everything that they do. Time is flying by. Time is flying by here, so we're going to go ahead and do our next sponsor, CNS Business Services, and then we will have our last segment. So we'll be with you guys in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Mandy with CNS. Are you 18 years of age or older looking for summer employment? Well, CNS is currently hiring for summer manufacturing associates, up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at cs-business.com to find out the details, or apply at our office, 1731 Southbridge Drive.
Services. Say yes to CNS. Say yes to CNS.
All right, CNS Business Services, they are a very special group of people for us as well. Not only are they sponsors of this program, but they're also a big part in this community. They try to make sure that people are finding jobs, and they work very hard to do that. So if you know anybody that needs a job, direct them to CNS Business Services, and they will help you find one. Again, we appreciate Paul and our whole team. Boy, this time's flying by. You guys are doing fantastic. I'm gonna let Jay go ahead and continue with the questioning, since he does so well with that.
He does.
All right,
great
sounds
job.
Wonderful. All right, Mom. All right, you are a wife, daughter, granddaughter, mother, Mimi, and friend. Woo, you've got a lot of titles. You were this is true, Dad, you were around for this one. You were the Kansas Junior Miss 1984. You looked at opportunities to have a vocal career, which you have such a beautiful singing voice. Boy, I do miss it. And you were very passionate about special education. You have purposefully moved away from being in the limelight and moved to serving others. And I've witnessed this firsthand, your love and selfless acts towards others. Where did that passion to serve others come from, and why is it so important for us all to treat everyone with equal value?
Those are some weighted questions. Thanks, guys. Boy, you're right. In my younger days, it's all, it's just all about you. You're all about me. And really, when you're young like that, a lot of times it just is. And so you have that that wake up call, that moment when you realize it's not all about you. Poor Kate. I remember when she was growing up, she was an only child. And do you remember what Mama always used to tell you, Katie?
It's not about you.
The world
The
does
world
not
does
revolve
not
around
revolve
you.
around you. And the funny
And
thing is, I think I've used that quote a couple times when we're kids, so it's stuck.
I'm so sorry I hounded that in you. But what I realized for myself in those years is that I had to take some of that and remind myself the world does not evolve around me. And when you kind of come to that realization, um, then you begin to see the value in other people. And then you want to bring the value of them out. And so I'll publicly apologize to all the people who had to tolerate me when I wasn't in that mind frame. But man, there's nothing better than just taking a back seat and letting someone shine.
Mhm.
There's nothing better. There's nothing better than um, handing your plate to someone in line and going to the back and not being concerned about what's left over, you know. Um, just nothing better. And Jay, I have to shout you out really because really Jay coming into our family had some incredible positive effects on me getting over maybe some of the attitudes that I had. And one of the things that I've really, really appreciated is the article in the back of this issue of the magazine, Jay. Um, we don't need to go into a lot of it, but just to pique everybody's curiosity, grab this edition of the magazine or go on to our digital copy and read that final page. In fact, Jay, we met a lady today when we were out visiting some young kids. Some young friends of ours are rehabbing an old house, and so we just popped by to see how they were doing. And their neighbor lady was out, and she recognized the car, and she said, "I use my Carrie's Hallmark coupon every time I get a magazine. I go to Carrie's Hallmark and use that coupon." And I use mine too. But we gave her this edition. She hadn't gotten it, and I made sure that she looked up that final page. But that was our son-in-law taking, what do I want to say, just taking the initiative of putting himself in the background to make sure that the final moments of a homeless man's life were done with honor and dignity and care. And so I think that's what it's all about. We're here to care for people. We're here to love people. And so that's one thing I love about the magazine is that it gives me an opportunity to be out in the public and hopefully just express just love and concern and for other people.
Kelly Schultz had commented, Angela, that's how God has gifted you to share with your sponsors, and you're always so creative. So, I mean, yeah, we all
sweet,
know
Kelly.
that, and yeah, and we do have one other question we're going to have to get to. Elijah says, since you are almost to the end, how did you two meet?
Elijah Mayfield.
Go ahead and tell him. Just go ahead and tell him.
We met at a high school dance, Elijah, and I was dating Kirk's best friend. And then when I saw Kirk, I'm like, well, he's pretty cute. And so I just kind of made a little switcheroo. And we dated on and off in high school. And when we were 20, we got married. So kind of high school sweethearts. And
let's just say, Elijah,
it's been great.
Yeah, Elijah, let's just say that best friend wasn't so much my best friend anymore after that. So it didn't go quite so well on the friend relationship there. So, but no, it's been absolutely wonderful. 35 years. We had a wonderful daughter, and she's, along with my son-in-law, they have wonderful kids. We have grandkids that are amazing. This is.
Sounds like Jimmy Stewart. It's a wonderful life.
It's a wonderful life. It's a wonderful life. Jay, we got time for one more question. You go ahead and pick which one you want to do.
Well, I mean, no, this is so hard I just enjoyed talking and, you know, just kind of talking about life, the different things we're doing. Um,
You don't even
I
have
mean,
to
I want
ask
Katie to
those.
have, yeah,
Yeah,
I know. I kind of want Katie to have an opportunity here.
I do
I
too.
want to hear from both of you. I want to hear from both of you, Dad and Katie. Love you. Talk to me about your mom, what she's meant to you, and yeah, I want to hear from you.
Okay. Well, I think we're frozen. Oh, we're
We're
on.
not frozen; they can
Okay.
hear us.
All right. No, Mom, you're just such an encouragement to so many people, and you're there for so many people. I don't know how many times I've called through the week where you have a full list of, people you're meeting with or having over for tea or coffee or taking out, and just encouraging them. And so not only do you encourage, you could encourage the 5-year-old outside who's screaming at his sibling, but
He does nothing
um,
wrong, by the way.
never anything wrong. Um, but no, you're not only an encouragement to your family, to each one of us, but you give your time and your love to so many other people, and you touch so many people's hearts. And even when there's a distance, you take that time, just like talking to Audrey and doing FaceTime weekly with her. That means the world to her, because she's so connected, and just you're just very caring and giving and loving and encouraging. And I'm so thankful for all that you do for this family, for our community, in Jeff City. And even when you come to Colorado, you're always looking for, who can I bless? What can I do? And so I just wanted to say thank you for that, because you're awesome. And we love
Well,
you.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Well,
That's
wasn't
true.
that nice?
I know that.
Dad's turn.
That's true.
Dad,
Oh
I
yeah.
want to give you the opportunity. It's 35 years of marriage. Talk to Mom. Tell her how you feel. Come on.
I feel like I'm in therapy. You're just gonna tell her how I feel.
Yeah,
No.
you don't have to go too far. No pressure. I think
Yes,
that men. I
much
told
pressure.
Dad just this yesterday. I said, "What do you want to do tomorrow?" And he said, "Well, I think I've got a few ideas." And I just said, "You know what? I just feel sorry for men because we women, we do all the planning for parties and events and things, and then a couple of times a year, these poor guys are expected to just do all this stuff to celebrate
We don't know
us
what we're doing.
when
We
they
have
haven't
no
had the
idea.
I know, and the pressure is just crazy. And so I did tell him, I said, you know what? I'm taking you off the hook this year. Don't, you don't just
Don't celebrate
being
me.
together. Don't celebrate me. Just don't feel any pressure to have to, have some kind of awesome moment. For me, he's just awesome every single day. And so wouldn't you rather
Don't
have
spend
that
this
than
to
just a
him.
Yeah, I
well,
gotta. I'm supposed to be talking about you.
I
I know,
know.
but I don't know.
I
I don't know
know.
why. I mean, I'm just
Well,
a
No,
part of
it's
the
good.
group here.
I like to hear from Mom too. It's also your 35th anniversary, Dad. This is
it
good.
is awesome. Hey,
It
real quick,
is,
I did want to
yes.
shout out Kimberly Harris Harden. She is watching as well. She says beautiful people, and I think she's talking about in the middle and
Aw.
over to my right, which would be you guys. I don't you guys. So,
Thank
Kim,
you.
thank you. You guys have a beautiful
Thank
family, and we are very appreciative of you all as well.
You're
All
welcome.
right,
They're
so
very special to Kate, huh? Those
very
long
much
bones
so.
that her dad
Yeah.
makes. Yeah,
Yeah,
the long
we love that
bones. We're
family.
overdue for some long bones from the Harris family.
Well, I do need to go ahead and take my moment to say something, and then we're going to give Jay the final word, and then we'll close out this program. Yes, you have been the absolute love of my life, and I have been honored not only to have been your husband, but I've also been honored to be your partner in ministering to people because I know that's where your heart really is just loving people as God has loved you. And I get to see that every day. I see you in the Word. I see you praying. I see you taking the time to talk to people on the phone that need prayer and just pouring into their lives. And it's never anything that you're looking to get something out of it. You invested a long amount of time into our daughter and homeschooling her and just loving her and trying to give her the very best that you could give her. And just like all of us, I mean, was there times that we didn't quite do it the way that we would do it now? But you did the best you could with what you knew how to do. Sorry. But I was just so thankful that you were willing to do that. And I know Katie, that's part of why she's homeschooling her children today is through the things that she learned from you and the values that she picked up from you. So I'm thankful for you. I know so many other people are. And on this 35th wedding anniversary, I just want to say I am just honored to be your husband, and I love you, and I am looking forward to continuing each and every day from here on out to continue to be a better version of ourselves that we can be. And so I just have to give you a kiss, even though you're downstairs. All right. Jay, is that a tear? Is that a tear?
It's beautiful. It was beautiful.
All right. You're
Thank
awesome.
you, Dad.
Well, I babbled a long time there, but it was from the heart. We're going to have to close out because this has gone by very quickly. We're just so thankful for both of our loves being on here tonight. And Jay, that's not fair. All right. So, hon, thank you for being on with us. If you'll hold on, Jay's going to go ahead and give the final word, and we'll be closing out.
To do my thing.
Yep, Mimi's mark. There we go. All right, Jay.
Man.
Good stuff.
Oh, yeah, it's great stuff. You know, I've enjoyed the last couple weeks getting people the opportunity to kind of see behind the curtain, like I said. You get to see kind of the heart of Sports Locker. We got to talk with Katie last week about the photography. And then this week we get to talk with my mom, Angela, and you just kind of get to see where the ideas come from, where the heart of Sports Locker is. And Angela is just such a special person. Again, she had no expectation or idea that I was going to be sticking around for as long as I have, and I'm just so grateful that it might have been about a year she realized I'm not getting rid of this homeless kid. He's here. He's here to stay. And she totally changed her mindset and was like, I'm going to love on this boy, even though he is flawed, even though he licks plates, even though he has no proper etiquette to him at all. I'm going to love on this boy. And I'm gonna let him know that I'm okay with him and he can stick around. And I mean that changed my life, changed me for the better. So, Mom, I'm grateful for you. Thank you. You've blessed all of our lives, and you continue to be a major blessing. You know, I never really, I guess, thought of what like a matriarch of a family is, but it makes sense now. You know, now that we have you, it just makes sense when you have that person who holds the family together and just keeps us moving strong. So we're very grateful for you, Mom, and we love you so much. So Sports Locker Nation, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed the peek behind the curtain again to see more of the heart of the company and how Kirk likes to operate, and having Angela involved. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. As I say every week, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you subscribe, and share away, comment away. We want to hear from you. We love when you guys watch with us. You guys are awesome. Sports Locker Nation, you guys are incredible. We love bringing you this content every week, and so keep on rocking and sharing content so we can keep bringing you guys great stuff. This is One Nation and SLM Extra, and I'm your co-host, Jay Gill. Thank you guys, and God bless.
Guys, thank you so much. And again, thank you to all of our veterans. God bless you, and God bless America.